it's like me saying, I always wanted to do an Ironman. I didn't really want to complete the Ironman. I just wanted to like step back and go, yeah, I did an Ironman. That was cool. I didn't actually want to do the Ironman. Like the training for the Ironman was something I was excited about, but actually doing the Ironman on the day I was never excited about. And it was quite difficult. I'm glad I did it, but I just wanted to be done with it and be like, I did an Ironman. I can tell people I did an Ironman. So it's kind of like that. I want to like get through this. I'm not rushing getting through it, but I want to get through it at whatever speed it needs to go, slow, fast, and but the whole time really be aware that I am gonna be okay. So that's my wisdom. It's me forecasting me to be wise on this. If that's super meta. What is up? I'm Darren, aka D-Lake Creates, your host of the internet's most exciting health, fitness, and self-improvement podcast, Master of Some. With Master of Some, we aim to help you live your most essential and purposeful life through audio stories about mental and physical wellness. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever you use to listen to us. This makes sure that you get alerts when a new episode comes out. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. We appreciate if you could rate us on whatever app you use and leave a comment. Most of the original music is produced by yours truly, D-Lake Creates. So if you like any of the music, you can add it to your device playlist by going to masterofsomepod.com/music. Make sure to share that out to your friends. And don't worry if you didn't get all that. There's a link in the show notes description. Please send this podcast or your favorite episode to someone that you think would get something out of this. The more people that hear about us, the doper stuff we can do to then help other people. And if that cycle continues forever, we would always be in debt to you. Last is a quick warning. We sometimes curse, swear, and use bad language. I'd hate to put you in an awkward position, so please be mindful where and how you listen to our show. This episode is an experiment of sorts called Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. If we like it, we might keep it. If not, then we'll can it. Phil kind of suggested that we capture our catch-ups in a bit of a structured manner. I said, yeah, cool. There's a chance we might extend this out past Phil and me and look to get other health, fitness, and self-improvement junkies on board to talk some shit about their own health, wealth, and wise journeys.
Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yeah. Little short form impromptu update from Darren and Phil podcast from the bunkers of COVID-19 self-isolation hell. It's not really hell. I think this was a conspiracy cooked up by the global cabal of introverts just so we don't have to deal with people. I, for one, applaud their actions. Jokes. So quick fire back and forth on each one of those three topics. What have you been doing this week? What have you been thinking about? What have you been reading? Any pearls of wisdom to share with the audience? So
health is wealth. You better watch your diet.
Kick it off with healthy. Darren, how have you been staying healthy this week?
This week, I have been staying healthy by tapering for my 5K, my A race, which is
nice.
Tomorrow. And it was going to be tomorrow evening on the track with a whole bunch of people. And then I decided last night after reading a couple of things, I said, fuck it. I'm not running around human beings. And I'm just going to do it on the Wentworth Park 1 mile loop thing on my own. So
nice.
It won't be as fast and it won't be as accurate, but fuck it. I'm going to get it done because I honestly know that I'm peaking right now. And I am, at my healthiest, which is subjective, fitness-wise. And I actually know I'm peaking because I did a kind of 5K predictor warm-up. 5K predictor workout about 9 days ago. And I nailed it, and I felt really good afterwards. But it's funny because I definitely haven't recovered over the past 9 days properly. And today I'm like, all right, I got less than 24 hours, and I'm like, fuck, things don't feel right. But fuck it, it's on the calendar, and I feel like I've really only got a couple days before I either lose my fitness or I just can't maintain it. Maybe I could. Maybe I'm gonna get some sort of illness that's floating around. Maybe the world gets shut down. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it now. It was on the calendar.
Great.
Gonna get it done. Yeah. How about you?
What do you think? What's your predicted time? What are you aiming for? Are you going to put that out in the world, or are you going to keep that under your hat?
Yeah. I don't know if it's been open at sub 17, so 16:59, 324 4 times, and then a 323 once. So
nice.
That's the goal. All my training's been just pointing directly at that, and it's not like I'm doing anything outside of my vicinity. There's a lot I can go on. I'm just gonna keep it at that. How about you, sir? What are you doing that's healthy?
So, healthy, not healthy. I feel like I've tapered. I got hit with a cold, so not COVID-19, none of those symptoms, but just snuffly, sore throat, just feeling just weak and rubbish. And with all that's going on in the world, self-isolation and not being not being out there in public places, coughing and sputtering and generally looking sick is probably a wise idea, just not to freak people out. So I've been taking it really easy and indulging in a lot of self-care. So really just all out on all fronts, trying to get well. So besides isolating myself, eating a really nutrient-dense diet, cooking lots of stews, lots of bone broth, lots of vegetables, lots of berries, lots of fruit, broccoli sprouts, all that kind of stuff. On the exercise front, it's been like mild yoga, breath work, meditation, going for like walks in the sun, where I'm not around other humans, good supplementation, so Armour Force, going a bit heavier on the vitamin C. Hey, it might not help, but it's certainly not going to hurt things either. More electrolytes, making sure my hydration is good, more sleep. And generally just R&R. So I've come out the back of it. I kicked it pretty fast considering how bad I was feeling. And just today, I now feel like I could run through a wall. My body feels rested and good and recuperated and has benefited from all of those things. Because I've not been going to the gym, I've been like replicating sauna at home by just having really hot baths with like lots of magnesium salts in there and stuff. So yeah, man, it turns out that being sick can actually be good for your health if you treat it right.
I like that. That sounds really, really therapeutic, and I applaud your efforts to stay away from other human beings. For the better of you and for the better of them. And I know that you've been dealing with this for a while, so it must be nice to kind of be back to normal.
Yeah. Like I'm still sort of 10-15% off where I'll probably be tomorrow, given the trajectory of the recovery. But yeah, it's certainly nice not to feel rubbish. Yeah, it's good, man.
Here comes the money.
Easy money is a sucker's racket.
So wealthy. What are you doing? What are you doing on the wealth front? I know you were sharing the other day. You're super busy with like projects coming out your ears at the moment.
Oh, yes. Long story short, realized if shit really hits the fan, I actually didn't have enough liquid to sort myself out in the midterm, the 3 to 6 month term. And I realized that there's 3 big variables going on that I don't have control over that actually could affect that. So I ended up doing something that I never, ever thought I would do, which was pull all my fucking money out of the stock market. Or at least most of it. And it was because I actually needed liquid. And it was because of just this very unique situation of 3 things that are dependent on income in my family not actually having any certainty in the next like 3 to 4 months. So it was just like I sat back and it was really funny. I was talking to a good friend of mine, a finance friend. I think you met him, and he was like, "Yo, dude, stock market's a whack. I pulled everything out." And he like rides. He's a buy and hold type guy. And I was like, "Oh wait, what?" And then I've been so inundated with so much work that I never like sat down and was like, "Let me check out what's going on in stock markets." And I went, "Oh, this isn't good." And then I was like, "Oh shit, I should pull out now. I don't think the bottom's here yet." So yeah, man, I pulled it out and just gave us a bit of leeway and finishing up a couple projects. So as far as wealth goes, I'm sitting on a lot of liquid just in case shit hits the fan and the world ends.
Nice.
But I feel like even if that happens, that means cash isn't worth anything. So it's just what is it? Empty beer bottles and jars of peanut butter are worth more than dollar bills. So
True. Well, I'm a let it ride. I don't, our situation's slightly different. I don't need the liquid cash, and even if the market bottoms out, I'm not looking to do anything with that for the next 40 years. So if it's not bounced back by then, like you said, it's probably because there's been a true apocalypse and it's turned into Cormac McCarthy's The Road, and I'm like wandering down the streets with a shopping trolley and a chainsaw. As far as wealth goes on my front, because our business is largely facilitation and workshops and coaching and things like that, we're doing two things. So a bunch of workshops and pitches we've got have just been pushed back because businesses are going on lockdown. They're just not having external meetings. They're sending everybody home. So we're making hay while it rains, I suppose, in terms of doubling down on content creation, and also just making it clear that we can deliver a lot of this stuff remotely as well. We've got the technology and the experience to deliver remote workshops, and virtual coaching is super normal anyway out there in the market. So nothing too exciting, but there's always an opportunity and challenge, I think, is the sort of takeaway there from me.
Absolutely. That actually is funny, because I sat back and was like, if a couple of these opportunities don't happen, they don't unravel, I said, I'm just gonna go back to the drawing board and make a lot of content for kind of all the little the areas and sectors of my business or potential business, and I got kind of excited about that because I know that will be valuable in the future, and I haven't really had the time slotted for that. So it was like, all right, what can I do with this? And I'm also doing similar things to you. I'm like, where's the opportunity? Who are the people that may be able to, justify this as valuable and affordable? So I'm thinking about my customers in a very clear way, and then what types of sales assets they might need to kind of get them over the line. I'm more talking with like advisors and whatnot. That's interesting. I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but it was more on a personal front. I needed to play defense, which I rarely do. I'm always on offense. For better or for worse, usually for worse. But this time I was like, all right, full defense mode. I need to, and I hate it. I hate being on fucking defense. But I knew that
sometimes you got to make the tactical decision and do what's right. And,
yeah, man.
And part of me when we were thinking about doing the remote sprints and the remote workshops and things like that, it's like there's a little bit of me that feels like profiteering off a really bad situation. And deep down, it is just the desire to add value and to continue doing what we're doing. Stopping doing business with and everybody's companies grinding to a halt is not helping anybody. The more small businesses that don't make it through this, the worse off everyone will be on the other side. So as long as we're all trying to add value and do what we usually do, which is provide a service that helps our customers, then I say go for it.
Here is the reason why.
Do you realize the significance of this?
So Wise, what are you? How are you enhancing your wisdom this week?
Wisdom. I am enhancing my wisdom this week by thinking about all the decisions I've made, and it's really interesting. I want to be wise in the future. So I'm realizing that there's a very thin line between I call them, what did I call them? I call it the awareness the awareness meter, Darren's awareness meter. So there's, at the bottom there's awareness, and then next thing is worry. First level is awareness, second level's concern, third level is worry, and the fourth level is absolute panic reaction or action to change whatever situation you're in. I guess this is the Darren model's example. I'm usually aware of things, and I'm rarely concerned. I sit between aware and concerned. And concerned is like, oh, I am very concerned that, this client is constantly paying me late. I'm concerned. So, I'm going to probably escalate that up to level 4, which is action. And it's positive and negative reacting. Worry, I feel like, is just an area no one should ever be in, personally. And there's probably a better box model that I could do, but I came up with this. Right now it's linear, but there's probably a box model here. You're the model guy. You probably have a model already in your head.
I was just thinking, could it not be like a sort of double-sided thermometer? Because it just struck me when you were describing that there's no upside. There's no like awareness to like excited to stoked to pure joy kind of thing. Is there?
Oh, you're saying so within each level there's different
Yeah, or if the middle is awareness, then it goes down to concern, then worry, then whatever, or it goes up to excitement, joy.
Okay.
There was just no upside in the model.
Let me reword that. It's Darren's negative awareness meter. There we go.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's only on negative. I'll think about the positive and then put them together and have a whole cohesive, holistic version of this. But
Beautiful.
yeah, but yeah. So it's just more like I really every time through bad situations, and I feel like this one that we may have we may or may not have named. I think you named it already. This situation in particular. I really want to come out of this and be like the whole time I was never worrying or never, panicking. I was always in between awareness and concern, and I was always under control. And I want to truly be like, I knew I would be fine. And then at the end of it, I'm fine. And I'm like, I knew I would be fine versus, woo, glad we got through that one. Man, that was scary. Like, I don't want to have that feeling because I really feel like if I have the confidence moving forward through situations like this, as more and more happen, because this isn't the first time this shit's going to happen, and this might happen more, things similar to this. I feel like this is a really good warm-up for climate change, to be honest. But that's another... It
feels like a good warm-up for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like the fires were they weren't even the warm-up. They were the pre-workout, like, jog the day before. Like, this is like a legit warm-up for climate change. But yeah, I won't go kind of too far into that, but it's more like I always wanted to do an Ironman. I didn't really want to complete the Ironman. I just wanted to like step back and go, yeah, I did an Ironman. That was cool. I didn't actually want to do the Ironman. Like the training for the Ironman was something I was excited about, but actually doing the Ironman on the day I was never excited about. And it was quite difficult. I'm glad I did it, but I just wanted to be done with it and be like, I did an Ironman. I can tell people I did an Ironman. So it's kind of like that. I want to like get through this. I'm not rushing getting through it, but I want to get through it at whatever speed it needs to go, slow, fast, but the whole time really be aware that I am going to be okay. So that's my wisdom. It's me forecasting me to be wise on this, if that's super meta.
I think a lot of people could take that on in the current climate. There's a lot of focus on physical health and well-being, as there rightly should be, and on washing your hands and social distancing and blah 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 blah. I don't hear a lot of people out there talking about mental health. I don't hear a lot of people talking about how people can approach dealing with their beliefs and their thoughts and their feelings about what's going on. And I see a lot of behavior to indicate that people aren't dealing with that particularly well. The hoarding, the panic buying, things of that nature. So I would encourage people to think about their thoughts, think about their feelings, meditate on that stuff. That would be my takeaway for anyone who's listening that is feeling that sense of anxiety, that's worrying themselves with this current situation. Because two things can be true at the same time. It can be true that there is something to be there is a situation in the world that you have to act and you have to take precautions and you have to do certain things to move through skillfully, and it can also be true that you don't need to cause yourself additional and unnecessary stress while you're doing it. So I was going to talk about something else, but that seems like the sort of wisdom I'm aware of the situation, and I see it going down, and there's some degree of concern for my fellow man, because there's gonna be an increase in suffering out there in the world for people. But I think the more we lean into more awareness rather than less, the better off we'll all be.
I like it. So that's your wise then? Is the rebuttal?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Why not? Why not? It's something I've been thinking about this week. I was going to talk about some takeaways I had from working with my coach, but this is also something I've been thinking about and contemplating this week. So I think, well, let's go with that. Why not?
Yeah, I like that. And I've been going to some of my, I call them faux mentors, the people that don't know that they're my mentors. The health and fitness dark web, internet dark web people. And it's funny because I'm like, say something like profound. And Mark Manson, Tim Ferriss, and Mark Sisson, and Mr. Money Mustache, like those are like the four. Say something fucking profound and help me get through this mentally, and like it's like I'm almost like every time I scroll on Instagram, I'm waiting for them to say something, and they haven't. And they haven't really addressed the mental side of it. A couple of them have like touched it early on a week or two ago, but none of them are actually talking about it now. And it's just quite interesting because I'm like, someone needs to come up and rise, that's got a voice and a big megaphone that can address this whole like, yo, calm down. And it's funny. I'm actually working with a guy. I'm helping him set up his podcast, just pro bono. He's a blogger and he writes very, very insightful type stuff. Australian Sydney guy. And he actually did a really cool 7-minute podcast on that. And he talked about the mental side of it and, like what you as a human, as a citizen on this earth, like what your responsibilities are and that you shouldn't be doing all these things. So I it was cool because I got it from someone that I didn't even know that would kind of put all the thoughts I have in my head into very nice, eloquent words. So yeah, I'll end it with that. Any final words for the listeners?
No, that was a neat 20 minutes. I think there's some good stuff there.
And that's it. As always, we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us ramble about shit that we think is cool and you potentially find interesting. Our goal is to help the world by making fitness and health relatable to life. Please subscribe, rate, and comment on any platform you listen to us with. Oh, and share any episodes with anyone that thinks this shit is cool and helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions for episodes, or hell, if you want to be on the show, hit us up. We're mainly on Instagram, but you can contact us on Twitter and Facebook. The best way is to email us, talksomeshit@masterofsomepod.com. Again, if you like any of the music that you heard this episode, it's available for you to listen outside the podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and more. Go to masterofsomepod.com/music to add it to your own device platform. Don't worry if you didn't get all that. There's a link in the show notes description. Thank you so much. Peace.